Hmm. I don't think I have a very good one. That sucked. Earlier, it's like sounded better. I don't know. Remember where I put put my fingers. What hole? Does that sound like the same thing no matter what I do? That's fucking annoying. Hmm. So yeah, the cat's not here. Okay, what am I gonna do? He posted a video of him and me yesterday, 2.5 minutes long. He gets 740 views. Me, I get 10. I keep on saying I'm not that interesting. Dooby dooby doo, not that interesting, or talented, or good looking, or I don't know. I'm me. I'm okay with me. I'm okay with me. Most of the time. Oh, somebody just messaged me about something. I don't know. I don't think I did too much annoying today. I broke out and did some Hall of Distinguished Gentlemen little satire things, I think, that I call them, that I do. You know, there's been some people that didn't want any parts, so I granted, and then I blocked them. Because, like I said before, if you can't take 2 minutes for me, fuck you. I don't give a shit what you get to say either. Then, I don't find a lot of people interesting. I know I'm not likable most of the time, but I honestly don't find too many people interesting. When they do something, when they bring up something, I just find it amazing. Yeah, I guess it has to be amazing to catch my attention because it's because of what, the things that happen as I was growing up that made me this way. You know what I mean? There was a guy who we've known each other from birth. He's still around. Ended up in high school with him. He's a class clown because that's what he wanted to be. I never really found him that funny. There's a lot of people out there, if they watch this and they're from South Boston, probably know who I'm talking about. He eventually became a singer in a band. Yeah, okay. Now I think he owns bars or something, but whatever. I mean, he's not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. But in high school, I was rushing to get out of high school to go on to learn the things that I wanted to choose to do. Not the shit they told me that I had to learn there, which was so incredibly boring. I think I had biology in school 5 times, and I still don't remember all the parts of a plant: pestle, stem, leaf, branch. I don't know. I don't know, but it was the same shit over and over again. Anyway, he dragged things out in times when he just wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop. I didn't find that interesting at all because He didn't care about what anybody else was thinking or doing or wanting to do. He just had to be center of attention, star of the day, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But he left after 1 year, which was okay. I don't know what he did after that. I've run into him a couple of times occasionally. Now, though, the last couple of years, I ran into him a couple of times. Either he doesn't remember who I am, he doesn't recognize me, or I don't give a fuck. I just say hello. He goes hello, and that look when somebody gives you where they're puzzled. I don't know. He's probably burnt his brain out so much, like a lot of us have, that maybe he just doesn't remember. I don't know. I just never found him that interesting or funny, really. This is the same shtick over and over again. Caterpillar hat, and it said, here's one story he had that was kind of funny, but I've repeated it to other people so many times over the years about him that I don't really care to bring it up again. It's not that interesting anymore. I met a person once who had already found very interesting before ever meeting him. He was a writer. He sort of a tour guide, Edgar O. Snow. Now, when I mention things, I want to explain everybody's background and everything. Look him up, Edgar O. Snow. But sometime after that, I was invited to go to the Viking Club, which used to be up the street, which of course is now another Quirk dealership. Beautiful building they tore down. Anyway, and it was his nephew giving a lecture on the history of the Boston Harbor Islands, which Snow wrote on extensively, and among other things. And it was, geez, did I find that interesting. He was speaking about his uncle's work, from his own research. And, somebody that can relate to that is so interesting. I find so interesting. Do you know what I mean? I remember I talked to him afterwards and I asked him a few questions, and I didn't really want to leave. Yeah. It was just about history, because he talked about people through history that lived through these islands. I have something that I feel is very important to say. Most of these islands have had these names for hundreds of years. There's one that was always called Spectacle Island because somebody thought it was shaped like a pair of spectacles. How they figured that out from way back when they couldn't see above it, I don't know. But that's the story. I have this very strong feeling and desire that I would like to see it renamed in honor of the little boy that they found there the other day. Any kid that had to face up to the problems he had to live with, and then he died the way he did, is a hero in my book. I think his name should go on. I think they should put a plaque there. I think they should rename the damn island. It doesn't even look like that anymore. I mean, it used to be not only flat, but like subterranean, where they used to burn garbage out there. And then they started dumping dirt from the Big Dig and the Fallout Tunnel or whatever, and now there's this huge hill. Okay, it doesn't look like a pair of glasses or spectacles anymore, but why not? What happened to him? The fact they found him so quick, that doesn't happen. People just, a lot of times they just disappear out there. And they found him. There's a reason for it. His name should go on it. But we have the suckiest legislature in history. If some Italian Democrat from Lynn doesn't get money in his pocket over this, it's never going to happen. Oh, geez, did I say that? I'm sorry. I love Italians. I love Italian food. I don't love the people that are in our house, or whatever it is up there on the hill. They get in there and they never fucking leave, and they don't do a lot unless it involves concrete, or God knows who else. I mean, seriously, does anybody ever pay attention to what they do? The only time we pay attention is when, like, annually the Speaker of the House gets indicted and goes to jail. Now, that hasn't happened in a while. Why? Because they got smarter. They probably stopped telling everybody how great they were and what they were doing and how they were lining their pockets. So many of them are attorneys too, but you know what? There's a lot of people that I grew up with, sort of, let's just say I knew who they were, that are lawyers now. And I knew them back then. Seriously, do you have to be that smart to be a lawyer? I don't think you do. I really don't think you do. I mean, people talk about certain people that would like name people, oh, he didn't pass the bar the first time, the second time, whatever, like JFK Jr. or whatever. Well, maybe he wasn't that smart. Just born at Kennedy isn't guaranteed you intelligence. I think you can see from the behavior of most of them in the time, no. No. But yeah, there's an awful lot of them. I was thinking about that today. Honestly, I don't think you have to be that smart. Anyway, these guys are up there. They're supposed to be full time. It's somehow they can be full time, get a full time paycheck, and have a law practice or some other business going full time. It doesn't make sense. It's still only 24 hours a day. Of course, it's a scam. Way, 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 way back. They used to be part time. The session didn't last the whole year. Doesn't even last the whole year now, and God knows when they go on vacation, like Congress does. But our governor has got pretty quiet lately about some of the stuff that she proposed. I haven't heard anything again. I'm hoping it was just some bullshit that was flying out of our ass. One of the particular things is free college for older folks. It would have been nice if it was free when as a younger folk. But yeah, I mean, is that one of the things that they always present to those esteemed people up there on the Hill? That they just say, all right, you got to cut a few things out. All right, let's cut that thing. It's always something that seems like it benefited people really greatly, but then the things that stick are the things that somehow guarantee these criminals and con artists, or I usually call them gnomes, gurus, and trolls. I'll call that, it's just the thing I have for anybody who thinks they're fucking smarter than everybody else. Question in jeopardy was, well, the answer was, thing new congressmen get, blah, 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 orientation. They get taught, obviously, they show them with, this is in D.C., where the bathrooms are, what pens to use, to listen to whoever tells them what they're supposed to vote on, to usually got to have like 10 years in there before you actually can speak up and say anything or get anything, your own ideas passed or whatever. But I think it's funny, orientation. I mean, here, you're going to make about $180,000 a year minimum. The gym's free. Great health care. But nobody else in the country does. Another question that came up, and it was bugging me because the word was the same word they used when they used to give them a check at the store and they would put it into a machine. It was called franking. Well, that's what they also call it, the free postage they get. God help me, why do they still need free postage in Congress when nobody even writes a letter anymore? But they do. I can't remember the last time I got anything from Stephen Lynch. Breaks my heart, used to get something regular with him and with the seal on it, and his office is in here and he's right up the street. Not that I've ever seen. I went to his very first run reader at the Boston Teachers Union Hall, where Ho Toys used to be. Frank Medical will know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I think I might have given him his first $5 or something like that, because that's all I had in my pocket. I thought I was going to a party with free food and booze. I had no idea that the guy didn't drink. There was no booze. Uh, I don't think it was any food either. I don't really remember. I just remember seeing him there and his wife, who I worked with the wife at the manor, but never spoke to her or anything. Don't even know her name. Don't know any really thing about her. But and he allegedly grew up down the street from me, down across from Gates. That was a telegraph, and he was I don't know, common name. I don't know. I never met the guy or anything else like that. But I'm wondering where they're going to put their parking lot, which was supposedly going where IHOP was in Quincy, which is not closing. IHOP is not closing. I think I mentioned that again. Mention it again. Listen, I want to mention some of the shows I watch on YouTube too, because I really like them. You can look at them. Some of the car fixing shows. A couple guys do concrete, which I find amazing what they can do concrete. And also the farming shows. So there's Larson farming show. The Welker Farm. That's two of them. I'm not going by what I remember, but Diesel Creek I really like. It's this guy in Pennsylvania that, I mean, obviously when he started out, he didn't have pots, piss, and a window to throw it out or to buy anything. And he's kind of worked his way up there, and he's pretty popular. But it's this old heavy equipment and stuff that nobody even uses anymore. And all he wants to do is see if he can get it running. It's like really interesting. Hold on. Hopefully that was all paused. I had an aggravating situation with some fruit punch. These counters that they have here, ended up in every home. It's funny, they're exactly the same ones I have in my condo in Raynham, the Karen has here. And it's just like linoleum, formica material, whatever, that they don't even put on. They always put on look like shit. Because they always have whatever, they have the guys, when they're done framing, they have them making countertops probably. Anyway, when it gets in there, it just soaks in. You got to rub it out a little bit, but anyway. So yeah, so tired at this time of night. Friday, as again, I said it before, people don't find this interesting. They find the fucking cat interesting. And he doesn't even do anything. As soon as I turn the camera on, he stops doing whatever he was doing that was even remotely interesting or cute or anything. But 700 people look at it and go, "Oh, he's so handsome. Oh my God. Oh, he's a cat." I don't get it. I do love cats. I love my cats. And I love everybody's cats. But some people, wow. I had a couple of comments, and I don't get a lot of comments on these things, but it's always about the cat, not like, hey, you know what? That thing you said the other day, I like that. No. No. I get handsome, and that's for the cat. Some guy said we were twins, or some person said we were twins. I don't know. I don't have an orange hair in my head, but anyway. You try to think of something. Did I tell you what I did at Walmart yesterday? There was something that wasn't priced. I'm at the place I don't want to go to, but when they only have 2 cashiers and 10, 20 registers, and you get them forcing you to the self checkout thing, and it pisses me off. So there's 2 people standing there, and they're like, "Oh, you got something that doesn't have a ticket on it? Yeah, can you help me?" First person just walked away. I was like, "Okay." So I decided to look into the thing to find the item myself, which I know it would be in there. And this woman come up. She had 3 masks and headscarf, and all behind that, she says, "You can't do that." I said, "Yes, I can." "No, you can't." And she erased and backed out everything that I had already typed in. I was like, "Why did you do that?" She says, "You can't do that." And she like gets this anger in her voice ordering me. I was like, "Okay, you need to go away." And I'm going to do it anyway. So you might as well go back over there where you spotted me from and leave me alone. Then this other woman came up. I said, "It's the same thing." She says, "Oh, you won't find it in there." I was like, "How do you know?" I said, you just stand here and look inside people's carriages." I said, "Just leave me alone." Or go over to the aisle, which is right over there, grab one that has a price tag on it, and bring it back, which is what you probably should be doing. Um, she just looked at me like I had three heads. The three-headed dog is named Cerberus, by the way. And then she just walks away too. So there's this third woman standing there, and it's like, so nobody's going to help me with this? She laughed. Now, I know this lady has worked in other stores or other things around here. She's from the area and everything, and she's at the point in her life where she don't give a fuck. They ever standing near the door, they'll probably put her there in December, hoping that she'll just get pneumonia and die or something. You know, the first person that died in Quincy from COVID worked up there, this Asian lady, I guess. I used to see there all the time. And then it was like on the news, whatever it was then, it was like, oh my God, that lady died, you know? But, so I left everything that I had there, got in the car, drove to the one in Weymouth. And they actually have more cashiers there. There wasn't 5,000 people in it like that's always in the one in Quincy. Because I think everybody from Dorchester and Roxbury and wherever, I mean, come down there. They could go to, I think there's Walmart in West Roxbury. No, but I think they all come down there. There's always 5,000 people in there. There's always only two. How does a store manager keep his job and he can only employ two cashiers at a time and force everybody through that other thing, which it's not right. Every time I use it, somebody loses his job. But you just want to get in it. So I'm just going to take the extra ride down to Weymouth. Store's fucking cleaner down there too, and it's bigger and a lot more stuff in it. They should just shut this one down at Quincy. See, 20 years ago, if that had been open for a few years, they would have shut that down. If they had opened up in Weymouth, Brockton. The thing is, we don't have the land down here like they did down south. They used to open up 5 stores in honestly less than a 10 square mile area, maybe 5 down there. And what they were trying to do was shut down all the other stores that already existed in the areas. If you had Woolworths, you know, Bradley's, yeah, us too. We were down there at the time when they started their big push. And what they would do is the policy was called Surround and Drown. So they used to sell stuff down there at a loss, which you can't do in most states, and you really shouldn't do anywhere. But like they were selling, if toaster ovens was one of the big things, because I remember some idiot buyer at Bradley's decided to compete with them in toaster ovens. Well, they'd sell a $50 toaster oven for $29, and we didn't have that. We didn't really have that kind of. It's stupid. You actually, a lot of stuff you don't make a lot of money on. I mean, you probably back then would have, at $50 would have made maybe $5 in a toaster oven. Probably half that, actually. It's really how it works. So you got to sell 500,000 of the things. That's what they were doing, and they were selling them at a $21 loss, if not more. So, and what would happen when all these other stores would close down, Walmart would only pick 1 or 2 out of, say, 5. They had an area to keep open, and then they'd just shut the other ones down. Everybody that worked there was out of work. They would just literally just shut them down, board them up, because they own the land, they own the building, which there's the simplest thing that you could build. It's a block wall with a tin roof, and if you're lucky, working toilets. So that's what they would do. I remember because all the time I was reading about them in trade magazines, because I was in retail, and I was like, okay, we have to worry about these guys. I remember in the early 80s bringing it up to somebody and asking them a question. They're like, oh, they never heard of them. When they started opening up 100 stores a year, then 200 stores, and then 300 stores, they heard of them then. Bradley's would do 25 in a year, and we were just trying to get down to Florida and establish Walmart, stepped right in the way, right in the way. And like I said, when they came up to Massachusetts, actually New Jersey first, they ran into a lot of problems because of our consumer laws. New Jersey actually employs shoppers that would go down there, and all they would do is they walk around with clipboards and write stuff down, and then they'd look into it, and then they'd find out that, you can't sell things at a loss. You can't, because it's unfair trade. And they started getting hit with fines left and right. And it happened to us a few times with our Jersey stores, forget Massachusetts. So we had to make this, it was so stupid. We had a warehouse down there, but we used to get the flyers, and then we'd send the flyer, because the printer was up here, and then we'd send them, instead of just getting a printer down in Jersey, then we'd have to send them to a Jersey distribution center, who were fuckheads most of the time, and constantly left them off the trucks. Or the most important thing that they did, which was just so bad, they didn't look at the flyers to see what they actually were supposed to have in the store on that Friday. And if it's not in the store and it's in the flyer, it's a fine. And they did it over and over and over again. And it was then somebody, honestly, truth, realized that they were not looking at the flyers that we were sending down there. They weren't even putting them on the trucks to go to the stores, maybe half the time. But nobody was looking at it. I mean, it was the simplest thing to do. Oh, look, toaster ovens. Oh, look, the sheet sets. Oh, look, whatever was in there. I mean, the thing was only 10 or 11 pages, maybe. Just look at it, The funniest thing, though, about our flyers was we used to have these notes down the bottom for legally saying that not available in. And we couldn't sell boom boxes at Fields Corner store because people would walk in, pick them up, and walk out the door. And nobody was going to stop them. Gas grills we didn't sell there because we weren't going to put them outside like a Hingham store and a few other. You put them outside and they were going to walk away with them. Well, that was another thing. They probably would have just picked up the box too. But there was several things there. It was Fields Corner. Oh my God, I'm trying to think of the other one around us. But then there was a store down in New Jersey. Not all items available in. And it was like the closest store to the distribution center, which was in Edison, New Jersey. And it was like the next town over, and it was a brand new store. And I don't know, maybe it was like Patterson and Newark or something. I don't know, but like they said, it was horrible that like half the store would get shoplifted every day. What was the other one? It was Fields Corner. Was it Roslindale? I don't know. I'm trying to remember. Fields Corner. Might have been Roslindale was a decent store. There was a Zayres right next to it. That's going to bug me for a while now. But I can ask a coworker if she remembers what it used to say on that. Because it used to be left down to either me or her at different times to make sure those things got in a truck. We'd get yelled at before they would even come in the building. And you're going to make sure. It's like they never asked the guys whose job, like the guys who's in charge of loading the trucks. Why can't he do it? I have to walk away from what I'm doing. This thing comes in the door. And then I got to grab my people, make sure they put it on there. I don't know. It was interesting. I worked for a very long time with a lot of feeble micromanagers that wouldn't let you do your job. The job wasn't that difficult. There wasn't that many things to do. You had workers. You said, see that? Put that there. It was as simple as that. Put 5 of those there. It was all written down for them and everything, It wasn't that difficult, but we would have these guys above us that would come in and go, stop everything you're doing. You have to do this now, but this is going to get behind. I don't care. This is more important. You'd be right in the middle of doing that, and they'd come down. Aren't you done yet? No, we're not done yet. Well, you got to finish that because you got to do all that other stuff that you haven't been doing. And I remember looking at these guys going, you mean the stuff you told me to stop doing because of this garbage? Oh, it was so aggravating. There were a few people that worked there that would like, with the union, they were like, I know what you're going through. It's very frustrating. I felt that these people that had worked there for so long knew exactly what to do. Even better ideas that better ideas. If you have an idea and you work good for you, you probably should try it. And I would every time I would do that, I'd get right in the middle of it. I'd get the three guys that above me that thought they were God. What are you doing? I didn't tell you to do that. No, nobody did. You didn't tell me. I don't know. What a bad dream. What a bad dream. Oh, it was food and clothes and rent. That's all it was. So, you know, all right. It's getting dark. Can you see my solar lights out there? Every night they come on. Usually the pumpkin comes on first. It's so weird. They all seem to come on in the same order, even though they're bunched up next to each other. I don't know. I like the ones that change color. That they're blue and red right now. Watch for a minute. See that? Green and purple, and now you're green. So anyway, oh yeah, the $1.25 store who still hasn't changed their name. Let me get that out. I like that store. I think tomorrow I might make some snow globes. Another thing I do to keep my sanity. Yeah, yeah, it's funny. I cracked myself up when I said that too. Anyway, hey, everybody be careful. Take care. Carry on.